Today I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of both Zapier and n8n. I'm going to be tackling four main areas today: capabilities, support, pricing, and flexibility. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Number 1, capabilities. Zapier is known for its easy drag and drop interface. It's very easy to create an event and drag it. It has a very linear setup, and its branching chains or paths are very linear. You can only do a split path like this, where it's a simple if-else. It doesn't really support much else than that. It's not very flexible. n8n, on the other hand, has much more capabilities. It allows you to design much more advanced paths and logic. It's great for heavy lifting and doing a lot of third-party work, like with HTTP requests. And again, you could design much more complicated workflows, much more intricate designs here. The only con to it is that it has a steeper learning curve, especially as you're building out complicated flows like this. For capabilities, the winner is n8n, with the caveat that it has a steeper learning curve. Round 2, support. Zapier has extensive support and integrations. Overall, it has just over 7,000 integrations for different programs and apps like Facebook, Gmail, Slack, HubSpot, and it has n8n beat in this regard. For example, there's an app called HeyGen which has a native integration here, which it does not in n8n. And another plus to this having a lot of these integrations and support is that certain apps without a public API, such as OneUp, you can still access them and activate them in automations through Zapier because they have a Zapier integration, where with n8n you could not do this. For n8n, it has some support, but its supported apps are more in the hundreds rather than the thousands, and for anything that isn't supported, you have to use what is called an HTTP request node to actually trigger it. And the problem with this is it can be tricky for non-technical users to actually figure out how to use it. Plus, certain apps like OneUp, which do not have a public API, you cannot access through n8n. Round 2 winner, Zapier. Round 3, pricing. Zapier's pricing works on a per-task basis. What this means is that if you have an automation for every step in that automation, so 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., you will be charged. And this can add up quite quickly, as just 750 tasks a month is $19.99, and 100,000 tasks a month is almost $600 a month. And if you're running a large company, this expense can add up quite quickly. Meanwhile, n8n's plans are 1, much more affordable, and 2, execution-based. So much more affordable, it's $24 a month for 2.5 thousand workflow executions, versus less than that is only 750 Zapier tasks per month. And not only that, being execution-based means it doesn't matter how many steps are in the flow. For example, this workflow costs as much as this workflow, despite this one being much more complicated and involving a lot more steps to it. Round 3 winner, n8n. Round 4, flexibility. Zapier does not really have a lot of flexibility, especially when it comes to complicated flows. You can really only do these little linear type flows or very basic branching, such as based on a different condition, but it does not allow you to interconnect things. It's just very A to B. n8n, on the other hand, allows very complicated branching. You can even loop back over stuff, and it allows you to build much more complicated and much more intricate workflows depending on your needs. And I always joke that it always looks like a work of art, but it allows much more in-depth, and it's much more developer-friendly. Round 4 winner, n8n. Okay, everybody, the bout has been scored. The judges have made their decision. n8n versus Zapier. Which one should you use? It's a draw. The reason for that is because both platforms have their unique strengths. Though n8n clearly outclasses Zapier on flexibility, on capability, and on pricing, Zapier's unique endpoint integrations still make it a valuable tool. So the real strategy here is not one versus the other, but it's how you can use both. For example, even in my favorite, beautiful, most complicated workflow here, this actually, if you see it down here, it actually ends by sending off the end result to Zapier. And the reason for that is why we don't completely count Zapier out is a lot of these, it works as a great endpoint. Meaning for that really obscure weird things or things that are just a pain to handle in n8n, we just shoot them off to Zapier. For example, if you look up any tutorial on how to post automatically from like social media content from n8n, it's a real pain. And if you do that in Zapier, especially if you use their one-up integration, it makes it much easier to do. So in the end, this bout has been ruled a draw. Both combatants, n8n and Zapier, have proven their merits, proven their strengths. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you want to see how to automatically import all of your ClickFunnels contacts into Go High Level, click this video right here. Peace out.